Greetings, Internet friends. Welcome to another episode of the Synergy Cafe online show, featuring speaker, entertainer, close-up illusionist, and marketing alchemist, MagicBrad. It's the Internet lifestyle show about career, finance, relationships, spirituality, and wellness. We're moving the online chatter over to real-life activity. And now, please welcome your host of Synergy Cafe, MagicBrad.
Hey, Internet friend, this is MagicBrad here at Synergy Cafe. Do you have your beverage of choice? Mine is coffee. I don't know what yours is, but coffee's good. It's a global thing. You know, it's the second most consumed beverage on the planet next to water. So it's good for me. So today I've got a friend that I met quite a few years ago. I don't even know how many years. He's an Imagineer. And he had come up with this cool trade show display that was lightweight. In fact, it was actually called Extra Light, because it was very, very lightweight. And when you're doing trade show stuff, when you got to start shipping displays and things, it's good to keep the weight down because it costs money. And it was a pretty cool thing. You had to get the hang of setting it up. And he created that thing. His name is LaMotte. Let me put a little graphic up there so you can kind of see what he looks like. It is, where the heck did it go? Right there. Boom. That's my friend Les right there. Imagineer, his website is LaMotte. Imagineer.com, and that's how you find him. But to find him now, I can go to the green room and knock on the door. Are you there, my friend?
Yes, sir. I'm right here. Yes. How you doing, Brad?
I'm
good
doing
to see you
well.
Again. Been a long time since we've seen each other.
Other than online, you know, we had a little bit of a
sure.
Your posts and stuff here and there. I still connected with you on Facebook, by the way, and you gotta accept that.
Absolutely.
Spin you over here and put me over.
Okay, there we go. Okay, there you go.
So
Perfect.
Let's catch up. And I know you've been doing a lot of different things. Your Imagineering is turning into manifestation. You're getting a lot of stuff going here.
Yes.
Are you still living? Are you down in Burnsville?
I'm in Burnsville, right? Correct. Been here for many years.
Kind of down by the airport.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, I was originally raised in White Bear Lake.
So you're a local Minnesota guy, huh?
Yeah, but we lived all over the place. I've lived in Madison, Wisconsin, and Portland, Oregon, and Los Angeles. So we lived in a lot of different places. It's been good.
You came back.
Came back. Yeah, to stay, come back to a home.
How many kids you got?
I've got 3 children and 12 grandchildren. So 12 points of inspiration. That's what we call them. We're going to go see some tomorrow in Texas.
I don't have any kids, so I understand it. My wife's got a granddaughter, and she loves it.
Yeah, it's great. Well, it's wonderful. They're all great kids. I love them.
Cool. And your son was working with you with the Extra Light thing, wasn't he?
Yes, both my sons actually. They began with me in our basement in Burnsville here, and we're one of the garage companies. You know, think about all the big companies that have started in garages, such as Apple computers. You know, the ones I'm using an Apple today, and used it for the last 35 years or whenever it came out. Basically, I was on it, and it changed my life because as a graphic designer, I was doing everything by hand. Everything had to be cut and pasted and all that stuff, and then the computer came out, and that's when I got going with Macintosh and learned all that stuff, and still on it and still designing. Thanks to the fact that I don't have to see down real close anymore.
That's right. I saw some of that in your bio that you have a background in graphic design. That's probably what kind of segued you into the large format graphic on the display.
That's correct. But before all that, where my product came from was an interesting thing because I originally went to a trade show in Nashville. Because I was kind of in the music area at that time. I just got done working in prisons and with Prison Fellowship, and I had created an album of my music, and I thought, well, I'll go to Nashville and see what we can do with the music. Maybe I can find some other artists. Maybe I can do some of their designs and all that kind of stuff. And the end result was they asked me to do a display similar to the one I had. And it was just a banner thing. It was very heavy. And I thought, oh, man, if I ever have to bring this somewhere, it's going to be ridiculous. He said, I would really like one of these, but I need it portable because I'm going to go out to Los Angeles and I'm going to see somebody and I want it to be portable. And so I came back home. And then I remembered what my grandfather taught when I was really small. He taught me how to make kites. And I've always been a fan then of tension, like Buckminster Fuller and all the things he developed in tension systems. And what happened was that I also was a Boy Scout. I'm an Eagle Scout. And I learned about fence when I was an Eagle Scout and in doing all that stuff. And then I was a graphic designer. So all three came together. So it was a three-legged stool. And it came together, and I was able to create a product that excuse me, went around the world. In fact, I just sent out some letters and stuff and a photograph of it. And the next thing you know, I was getting orders from Argentina and Spain and all over the world. And in fact, in the end, we were selling in 36 countries around the world.
Wow.
It was wonderful.
That's
So we became an international company before we actually sold anything locally, hardly.
It's interesting hearing that story because I can see how all those little things go together. And
Sure.
it's also interesting that it was sort of your music that got you into that area. You never know where your life's going to take you, you know?
Right. Yes. And that's why my Imagineer thing came up, because I've been a student of Disney all my life. And I believe that Disney was a great influence in my life. And I went to Disneyland when about 1964. I'm sure more before most of the people who were watching this were born. And I got influenced on all the cool stuff at Disneyland and all the new futuristic and all that fun stuff. And so it kind of spurred me into my design world. And so he was known as the Imagineer. In my book, I talk about it, and it's all about how he had to find the right people at the right time to get the stuff done, because he got going in the Second World War, and the fact that he had, after the Second World War, and at the time everybody was pretty much just industrial, and they didn't know how to do all the imagination stuff, so he had to create a whole group of people who could think out of the box way back then. That was, he really created the out of the box concept. And they had come up with stuff that moving animatronics and all these different things, and then the Disneyland and Disney World. So I really have grown through that experience. Interesting enough is he eventually became one of my clients, and we sold lots of products to Disney. So, and also Universal Studios and Microsoft and Best Buy, local clients and stuff. So we had a really great time of it, and it was a great. We had 14 years of experience in the trade show industry worldwide, and I got to travel everywhere, just about in the world. So it was a great time.
Well, I think I met you at a business expo over at like the Metropolitan or something like that. You were sponsoring an event, so you knew early on how to showcase your product and
correct. Yes, and we did the magazine here, the I'm trying to business. The business magazine in town, and so we were able to do all their displays, and we did some guerrilla marketing. So we traded displays for ads in their magazine. So we used guerrilla marketing in order to get our company going, and that's something that a lot of people don't think about today. And in fact, one of the things we were at Best Buy, there was a program on how to build a business, and somebody said, "Well, we got up and we went out." Found $3 million. We went out and did this whole thing. We had a business plan. It was huge and everything else. And in the end, they lost the whole thing. And I said, well, wait a minute. What happened to let me raise my hand. I said, what happened to the fact that you have to sell something? And so I built my business on the very fact that I could sell my product, and the sales produced the product. And therefore we had a longevity with the product, because it was actual sales to people, and we knew what they wanted. And then we brought in talented people like yourself who come alongside our booth, do some magic, and bring people in to see what we had. And it was a great time.
Well, I like to hear that you did it that way, rather than like what a lot of companies do, or wannabe companies. They take out that big loan and they got to factor that into their budgeting, and now they got a payment that way, and they're already in debt.
We had bank loans and stuff like that, but it was after we had started making money, and in fact, it was amazing. And within the first year, I had made $500,000. So I mean, it's like it was great. I looked at my shirt and I had my name on there, extra light, and I said, I must be in business. And I put that shirt on just so I could, because I was in my basement when I was saying that. And we worked our way out to a 5,000 square foot office eventually. So it was great.
You took all this stuff from the imagination, from a concept, from a seed of thought, and brought
Yes.
the thing together, built this display, and then you
Yes.
kept the ball rolling by adding to it and marketing and selling more and scaling it up. And you've got all the knowledge now. And
Yes.
the reason you're here today is you're going to share some of that knowledge because you've got a book.
That's correct. I have a book. Yeah, my book's right here. It's
Share the secrets.
called, I got to get in another place here, Imagineer Your Future. And it shows the whole thing, concept right here, actually. At the bottom of the book, my grandfather's kite making and the tents and all the way up to our product. I went all the way around the world, and it's a wonderful story. And my son was involved, as you can see in the back of the book. There's the whole process there I went through. So I like to share that. So one of the things I'm doing today is I would like to get out and talk to people and to be able to inspire people with how you can take your garage concept and take it into the world, and how to make your $1 million, because we took $14 of investment when I sent it out, and I ended up making 14 million in revenue. So it was a very, very successful business when we had it. And I've since then I've written actually 5 books, and that's one of the books. And then I also design books. That's what the other thing I do. My graphic design is still around. I did design these books for a friend of mine. He's doing the Eden. I never get this. Where is it? Okay, there. The Eden concept, and I have one with my music here. So it shows. And in 2007, I got surprised with winning the 2007 Los Angeles Music Awards. So actually, if I turn my thing this way, you can see the award behind me there. That's the award I got. That's the same as they get for the Emmys and the rest of all the, not the Emmys, but the Grammys and all that kind of stuff. So it was a cool experience, and something I didn't plan on, but that's where the Imagineering comes in. I also spent 22 years working with the South Sudanese because they started coming into Burnsville, and I got to be able to meet all of the people who actually helped the country to become a new and separate country. So I was there to help them, and that was during when I had my extra plate. So I was actually using some of my funds from my company to help the people in South Sudan. So that's the other thing I like to stress, is how you can move from one position when you have a place of security and financial security. You can move and help others. And one of the things we did at that time is bought a boat. And it's ended up saving the lives of 250,000 people in South Sudan because it was during the war it was there. And so I've been there 3 times now, and I've actually worked for the government there, designed some things for them. And recently I've been working on oil systems for their country, and creating some new concepts there, such as go back to Disney. And what do they have there? They have the big train on the tracks. I suggested they do that throughout the country because they can't build roads. So roads, because it's all swampland. I said, why not put I can't think of the name of it right now, but the sky train, just like they do at Disney, and suggested that to them so that they can build that with their oil pipeline. So this is where Imagineering comes in, because I'm no longer doing just graphic design, although I use it, but I'm using it for another purpose, creating ideas for others beyond simple brochures and things of that nature.
Well, we've gone for about 15 minutes here, and I try and keep these condensed, but I wanted to ask you kind of, not really a personal question, but it's something I just kind of learned about myself, because it's really important to stay on track. You talk about the train, the monorail or whatever.
Monorail. There you go. Thank you. Yep.
See, I'm a psychic. I read your mind. You got to stay on track with things, and the way you built the business is again, you didn't take out the big loan to start the business.
No.
You started with some seed capital, then you bring in the extra energy, and then you went
Yes.
marketing wise, helping other people,
Yes. Yes.
and you stayed on track with it, and then let other things
Yes.
fit into it.
Yes.
You ever run into a situation where you're imagining and you enjoy ideation and creating, and then
Yes.
when you get to the manifestation, do you lose energy because of the fear of losing the excitement of the creation?
Not at all. Not until it's finished. See, that's the other, something I learned from my father. He was a man who
See,
said, "Let's go out and do something." And when we did it, we finished the job.
see, I've
And so
gone
that's
through,
that's something I did.
I got a couple issues where I don't quite finish, and I've just learned Saturday I went to an event
Mhm.
that I sometimes sabotage this because I enjoy the creative process so much. I didn't want to see it manifest because then it would be finished.
Yeah. Well, we were almost finished at 9/11. Think about
Yeah,
it. I had to actually come up with a new product, and if I hadn't, we wouldn't absolutely been finished at that time. And at 9/11, we kind of I went back and I said, "My gosh, the trade shows didn't even exist hardly. There was only I think they just started months after that, after the war started, and everything else. It was amazingly messy at the time. So we went through a couple of those kind of things in our business career where you go, wow, is everything's going great, and all of a sudden, boom, wow, what happened?
you ready for the
And you have
storm?
to be flexible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Flexible like those rods that held your displays up.
That's right. And the tension side, and so you have to always be in a little tension, but you don't want to break under tension. That's
So
that's
you
the
started
thing
out
about
with the
it.
smaller banners, the narrow, tall ones, and then you
Yes,
got scaled out and did the
yes.
sort of a
Actually,
modular type unit. You could connect them together, right?
yeah, we actually went from what we called the XL1, which was the original design, and I eventually made systems that plugged together so we could actually do a full 8-foot booth. And that was all the innovation part of for me. I was designing. We ended up with 25 more products out of the same concept, pulled through as we listened to our customers, who we listened to them and they said, well, we need this, we need this, we need this. We
Right.
even did my second product. I actually used for, if you remember the movie Left Behind, when I was in Nashville, I got to talk to the guys who were actually doing the movie at the time, and they actually used my second product to make like a videotape box at their trade show. So all of the innovations came from listening to our clients, and that's
Sure.
what I learned throughout this process.
Well, we've gone for like almost 18 minutes now, and I like to keep these tighter. So why don't we kind of close it out? But
Okay.
can you show us your book again?
Yes, very good.
Let's see
I'll
what
show you the book. If I can get it here again. There we go.
Imagineer.
Imagine Your Future. And if you go to that Imagine Your Future website, Les LaMotte, Imagineer.com, you can see all my books and you can read about them and what they are. And you can actually just go right directly to Amazon and purchase them.
I was just going to say they're probably on that other website.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing. Yeah.
Well, Les, I appreciate you taking the time. I'm going to send you into the green room, and you can have some of those low-cal hors d'oeuvres we've got in there.
Looking forward to it. Thank you. You got me thirsty.
Might even be some iced tea back there if you want some digital.
Oh, I'm going to go for that right now, actually. Right now.
Thanks
Thank
again for the
Thanks.
talk and sharing.
Thanks,
Stick
Brad. You're a great guy. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. There he is, my friend Les LaMotte. I remember when he had that display, and I've been in the trade show business for a long time, since about '86 or something like that. And when I saw his display there, I met him at the trade show, and I was fascinated by how compact and lightweight that thing was. But here he is, and he's got a book to tell all about it. He's an Imagineer, Les LaMotte, Imagineer. That's right there. So there you have it. So thanks for spending another day at Synergy Cafe. If you ever want to do an interview, just rattle my cage and I will look you up. So peace, love, and happiness. That's the end of the day at Synergy Cafe. See you later.